And has been in the news a lot lately. Just today, the motion of no confidence in Cape Town Mayor Patricia de Lille has been withdrawn and delayed. But what is the future for the party and who are the players dominating the scene? Tonight we talk to Bongani Baloyi, Midvaal Mayor, about his own political journey in the party and issues of governance. Very good to have you with us. Firstly, since taking over, I believe there's a 15% growth. What's behind that?
Look, the growth has been largely led, well, firstly, I was fortunate to take over a healthy and sustainable and stable municipality from my predecessors. So what we've done is to ensure that we do a number of things and we look at the low-hanging fruits, but at the center of it has been a commitment to good governance, because ultimately, if there's poor governance, you can't build anything on top of it. So we've reaffirmed our commitment to good governance to ensure that we get value for money, but at the same time, what we do is generally for the interest of our communities and for their betterment. So good governance has underpinned everything else, which has allowed everything else to come out of there and the growth that many of us speak about to happen.
South Africa is obviously a political minefield. It's been for years. It really is at the moment. And I'm just wondering how politics plays out in your jobs. What are the tugs and the pulls that you have to work your way through?
Look, I think in our unique dynamic in Gauteng, having been the only DA-run municipality until we had Johannesburg and city of Tshwane, was that there was always this dynamic between the provincial government and the local municipality. But at the same time, we have to separate the politics from actually the governance portion to say, when you start governing, it has to be generally for all of our people, those who voted for us.
Is it possible to separate the politics, though?
To an extent, it is possible. But ultimately, when you're in that position, it's more about the people and less about the politics. And this is why I enjoy being a local mayor and not any other position, because ultimately, it's about bread and butter stuff, and ideology doesn't get in between that.
Do you think being part of the DA has helped you or hindered you in this job?
No, certainly, I think it has helped me. I don't think I would be where I am without my party today. So I think it has grown me significantly in this job and actually assisted me to contribute more to my country from a very early age.
What's it like being a black leader within the DA? I mean, there's always been talk about race and the race problems within the DA, and I'm just wondering how you've managed to overcome that, if you have.
No, certainly. I think when I came more so in this job in my immediate community, there's lots of doubts. And more so, you happen to be the first black mayor and you're young as well. So you're facing two things you need to deal with, your age and your race as well. So one has had to show this through consistent delivery and being able to show the results. That it's not about race, but a black person is competent and a young person equally is competent and is up to the task of taking the country forward and leading within my space where I found myself in. So one confronted these things, but I understood that to defeat this thing, it has to be on the basis of results. So
do you think to defeat it, you have to be successful? And I'm just wondering if you're given the same chances as possibly an older white leader within the DA.
Certainly. I think we're given the same chances and opportunity. I've received lots of support from my party and space to do my job as well, and they've held me accountable for what I've done in the municipality. So I don't think it would have been different, but I do think that within the South African context we find ourselves in, there is an appreciation for a young black person to hold a position that one finds themselves in, and more so for the dynamics within my community as well, where there's also some level of divide as well within various socio-economic lines and also racial lines, and one has to work to integrate that, which has been a very difficult job, but I mean, to get a decent outcome over a long, sustained period of time is possible.
And how easy is integration within the party and healing so many of the divisions that we have seen? And what sort of role could you play in something like that?
Look, it makes it easier because our party leader made the significant point that if you don't see that I'm black, you don't see me. But if all that you see is that I'm black, you still don't see me. So there's a leadership which appreciates and accepts the realities we find ourselves in South Africa, and the party takes that direction, and we begin to confront. At times, we're very clumsy with the issue of race as well, and a few other issues, but we confront them head on. And
how do you confront them head on?
No, it's important to firstly appreciate where we come from as a country, and at the same time appreciate that if we get the power that we're contesting for, what we need to do to redress that. And also appreciate what black people may even experience today as a direct result of where we come from. So you can't hide or put our heads in the sand of those experiences. It's something that we need to understand, sympathize with, and be able to change when we get the position of power.
You touched on it briefly. I mean, did you have to try and explain to friends and family when you decided to go with the DA? Was it a difficult explanation, or do you feel that there is an appetite there for a different sort of party, that you really feel that the black man can become a leader in this sort of party?
Certainly, certainly. I think there is, and the Democratic Alliance is that platform that we need to consider. For me, it was not very difficult because family was also part of the Democratic Alliance as well. So it was an organic decision for me to get into that space. But I've always knew growing up that I make decisions that I think are good for me and where I can contribute the most. So what people say about many of my decisions does not really bother me to a great extent. I accept the criticism from people, but ultimately I need to do what is good for me and what I think I can contribute more towards the betterment of our country.
And Patricia de Lille and what's playing out there, I know you're a supporter of her, I saw some of your tweets. Tell us what it is that you see in her and what do you think is going on there?
Look, what I see in her is a leader who's gone through many periods in our country and has tested and tried and has a brand that she has built over a period of years. So I respect her for that. And for me, she's one of my role models as well. So irrespective of what she's going through with the party now, and I think they'll be able to find each other probably very soon, because ultimately it's about what's good for the party, so we can begin to focus on what we need to, which is the coming elections. So for me, there's lots of respect. Because
people are angry with her. I mean, do you think she could have played it a different way? Do you think she was her own worst enemy in this? Because she did have a reputation in the beginning as being a corruption buster, of trying to raise the standards of Kai Leacher, for example.
Correct. I don't understand how that has changed, because I've not seen personally any information or evidence suggesting otherwise. All I've heard from the side of our party is allegations, which I think they're going to start testing. So in absence of
there's going to be an open hearing now, isn't there?
Correct, correct. So in absence of any of the evidence and confirmation beyond allegations, I think one must also ensure that even in our country, South Africa, we must presume someone innocent until proven guilty by substantial facts, and the relevant authority makes a judgment. So I'm happy that the party is speaking with her. I think it shows bold leadership, and also to ensure that they get what's good in the interest of the party.
There's a call from George from Northwest. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate the DA for appointing a member like they did. I think with more members like this, we will eradicate racism totally. And I think this is the way forward. And I think the people of South Africa has got to look forward to having people like this on the show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, George. So I'm just intrigued to know what George sees in you that's changing the face of the party. What do you think he's suggesting there?
Look, I think he sees what the DA is about. And I think at times we focus on just the leadership at the top, and we forget that there's a whole layer of leaders below the national leaders that are capable, they are competent, and are on the ground and doing what's good for the country, beyond just the politics that you see on headlines. But there are good crop of leaders within the Democratic Alliance, a number of them very young, products of the party's own programs as well. So there's more to see from the Democratic Alliance over and above what you see on a day-to-day basis.
And do you think it is a positive development when you've got people like you for the politicized youth? Is it a message that you can?
Certainly, it should be. I mean, we live in a country which the majority of the population, in Africa broadly, is a young population, and you've got dinosaurs leading us. So it's about time for young people not to be given the space, but to contest to be in the space, because ultimately this is our future people are playing about. The 20 years, the 10 years they're speaking about, I'll still be alive. So I need to work now to enjoy that 10 years and ensure that it's the reality, because I'll be held to account, and not for people who will be ancestors by then. So it's important for young people to be at the center, but not to be given the space to fight for the space to get in there.
And what is your political ambition within the party, and how do you see DA becoming a bigger player? What sort of threat does the EFF pose?
Look, my personal ambition is to complete my term, because my assignment is my term, coming to an end in 2021. Post that, I've not given that sufficient thought, because the job I do now preoccupies a lot of me. So I cannot indulge in the future apart from the future of the municipality. I think the politics space has become very interesting. It has showed many people that they can move away from the ANC and join other parties as well and begin to move to others. So it becomes very fluid. And I think it's an opportunity for many of us to display what we can do as a value proposition from the Democratic Alliance point of view on the back of the solid delivery that we've built over a period of time, because we clearly demonstrate that we can deliver, not just talk about it, but we deliver results on the ground.
And we're going to have to leave it there. Bongani Baloyi, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Zimbabwe's elections appear to be a two-man race, so what chance does Nkosana Moyo have? We speak to him in just a moment.